All right, we are live. 3 minutes late, a whole 3 minutes late. I had to update this app. I had to update my OBS, and I was not expecting that. So everything's updated. We are now live, and let's go. Let's talk about everything you want to talk about trucking. I know one thing that's a pretty big topic is like how slow freight's been here lately, and how like the rates are not what they've been. And of course, there's a lot of people that are saying, "Hey, freight's doing way better this year than it was last year," and that's true. That is true, but it's more trucks. Freight's doing better, but it's more trucks on the road. I think during COVID, this is my personal opinion, but I believe during COVID, the stores were empty, so we had a like, hey, we need people in there in these trucks. We need to get these stores filled back up. We're having a crisis. Bring as many as you can. So I think that what happened was we got a lot of trucks on the road real fast, and we started growing. All the companies did. They started growing, putting more people out there. I mean, freight was great. And what happened was we oversaturated the market of trucking, and we put a whole bunch of trucks out onto the roads. So whenever freight came back down to normal, you had way too many trucks out there. And my beliefs are that with the more trucks in the area, so we'll take before COVID, for example, there wasn't as many trucks out there. So if you take before COVID happened, and you might have the shipper, and they're calling whoever they can, hey, I need a driver to do this load, and they're all like, hey, I don't got no trucks over there, or maybe I got one truck over there. We'll see if he'll do it, and these brokers were involved, and they're all like, well, that truck's probably not gonna do it unless it pays like this much, and they're all like, we'll talk to them, see if they'll do it for this much. So it was more of I'm the only truck here, so you're gonna pay me to run this freight. It was kind of that kind of type of business back then. I think when we moved forward and we oversaturated the amount of trucks out there and put so many trucks out there, that now the same shipper is they're not even ready to send a load out, and you have these freight brokers and stuff like that are calling them and saying, "Hey, like I got like 4 or 5 trucks over here, and I need them to run this freight." So the shippers over there, like, and the customers, they're like, well, like, I wonder how low we can get this ran, how much money we can save ourselves. Hey, will they do it for this amount? And it's gonna be a low ball amount. They're gonna call the first truck. Nah, man, I'll wait till tomorrow. Second truck, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. Third truck, man, I've been sitting here for a whole day waiting on a load, or I've been here for 2 days. I don't care how much it pays. It gets me moving, and it gets me out of this area. And that's kind of my beliefs on we're going through right now. Is yes, freight's better right now, but the actual driver, as us the drivers, it's not as many loads for us. There's more loads that the company's doing, like the people are doing. There's more loads available, but I don't believe that there's as a driver, I don't think that you're doing any better than you were last year. Because I read a lot of comments, and I do a lot of research, and a lot of people were like, freight's supposedly doing better. Well, I don't see it. And I'm all like, yeah, that's probably why. It's because there's so many trucks out there. How long does it take to get a TNT trainer? Been waiting for a week, almost two. It just depends. It's about the area that you're from. Like, is there a trainer in that area? Truck availability and stuff like that. I haven't really heard of too many people waiting very long. I had a student that had to wait a while, but he ended up getting one trainer, and then it didn't work out, so they never left together. So I'm not sure how long the wait is for a TNT trainer right now. Um, one of my old students that's a TNT trainer, it's weird because he waited like 3 weeks to get a student. He got a student, and then the student and him ended up not working out. The student ended up saying like, you know, he had his reasons for getting off the truck, and my friend was like, I he couldn't function on here. Like his reasons were legitimate. Like he needed to go do a different. He needed to go try a different division to do what he needed to do to get through it. So, there are people that are waiting on students, and there's some students that I guess are waiting on trainers. So I don't know how it works. Is they use that matching process and stuff like that, which, I kind of agree with. I kind of don't agree with. I liked it better whenever, like, I'm a PSD trainer or instructor. I'm a PSD instructor. Let me fix that. So, like, way back when I could be like, hey, my friend, I'll just use a random name here, so I don't know this person. I'm just using a random name. But I would be like, one of my old students, Eddie, is looking for a student. So I tell my current student, Eddie hit me up, hey man, I need a student, and I'm all like, well, I got this good one, and I'm all like, I'm pretty sure y'all would get along because y'all kind of have some stuff in common. So like, yeah, let's see if we can get y'all matched up. Call the fleet managers, they would set that up, and 9 times out of 10, that was the best pairing you could make. Like they were perfect together. And whenever I would do that, I would make sure both sides knew, hey, I'm putting my name on the line for you, so you have to get this guy's miles done ASAP. Like you have to get him on his own truck. You need like make sure you're teaching him everything right because I'm putting my name out on the line here for you. And then I would tell the student too, hey, I'm putting my name out for you. Like don't get your sleep. Get your sleep. Run hard. Like do a good job. And I tell them both, hey, if y'all have any problems, either one of you, just because I known Eddie for a lot longer than I known you does not mean you still can't call me. Call me if you have problems. I tell most of my students, I will tell them, hey, if you got a problem on TNT, give me a phone call. And most of the times I can get problems fixed, or I sometimes it's the student's problem. I'm all like, hey, look, you're sweating some small stuff right now, really. Like that is not a big deal. And or I've had it before where I had a student like, man, my trainer gets mad at me because, I can't run a full shift. I'm all like, why can't you run a full shift? He's all like, cause I'm sleepy. I'm all like, well, whenever your trainer starts driving, are you going to bed or are you staying up? And come to find out that he was staying up, talking to his family, all this and that. And I'm all like, dude, you're the problem. Like, I would be mad too. I'd be telling you the same thing he's telling you because you're not taking care of business and getting sleep when you're supposed to. Uh, Truck like us, Prime can't guarantee miles. No, Prime can't guarantee miles. Uh, Nobody can guarantee miles. And that's part of the reason it's so hard whenever people are asking, yeah, how much money do you make a week as a company driver? Well, some weeks I'm doing good. Some weeks I'm not doing good. So like it's like a hard thing to, hey, you're going to make this much to this much about. You know, most trucking places, it's real hard to get the accurate numbers because everybody runs different. Everybody, they get different loads. They have good weeks. They have bad weeks. I usually ask somebody, hey, on your really good weeks, your average good weeks, what do you make? Your average bad weeks, like how much are we looking at? Like a bad week, you might bring home what $500, like 300, 200, 100. I'm trying to pick their brain as much as I can whenever I'm talking to these places. Uh, Chris says, when you're doing PSD training, are you overnighting it or sticking around the terminal? If I only have one student, then I am overnighting it. Like I'm going over the road. Like we go over the road and we run. If I have two students, then I'm gonna stick around kind of stick around the terminal. I really don't go inside the terminal. I go to the training pad and I do my eco shred loads. And I've been doing a ton of eco shred loads here lately. I've had an eco shred load like pretty much every day this week. I think I did have one every day this week. I'm not sure. I do one load a day, so I can pretty much tell you. I think one day I did not have one. But on my app right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 shred loads just on my app right here. Like that's a lot of shred loads. So I train either way. Chris, it's not bad going over the road, and it's not bad training locally. Whichever ways, I mean, both ways work. I kind of, in one way, there's benefits that are really good about going over the road with a student, and then in another way, there's a lot of good benefits about staying. It just depends on the student. Some students, like the 2 guys I just had, one guy I have now and the guy before him, they would have been great for over the road. I could have, like, they would have been real good. They were real quick learners. I mean, like, it would have been real good. Some guys, it's like they're struggling, and you rather be in like at the pad because you got to put in that extra time with the backing, and you got to have more detailed ways of driving and stuff like that. 30K, yeah. Right now the minimum is 30K. I've seen those videos. They need to fix those parking lots. Which parking lot? Oh, yeah. Hey, that's Eagle Shred for you. I'm telling you, like having my students back in places like that and drive around places like that and through those areas like I go to on these Eco Shred loads. It's really preparing them for some stuff. And like most of my students, I tell them, I'm like, hey, don't freak out about these eco shed loads because most of the time you're not going to be at places like this. Jeff, what's up, Jeff? That would explain why I didn't see you on the pad this afternoon. Yeah, I got back really late, Jeff. It was I got back about 4:30. And once I got back, I was like, it was time to go home. I was tired. Yesterday, I had another load that kept me out all day. Well, yesterday's load really wasn't the load's fault. It's because I tested somebody in the morning. So, you know, my best student of the year, I will say that right now. Henry was my best student of the year. He tested yesterday and he trifected, so let's go. Best student of the year right there. Whoever gets them for TNT, they're going to have an amazing student. But in my opinion, he was the best student of the year. Uh, Trucker, Truck Like Us says, I love OTR. I just don't go to the West Coast. Why not? I don't understand that. West Coast, there's good food over there. And on the West Coast, especially on a teaming truck or a TNT truck, West Coast is your bread and butter. Like I used to do West Coast all the time because those produce loads, I would get something from California produce or Arizona or something like that, and I knew, hey, I'm about to get some miles because I'm gonna end up in like Jersey or something. So I would hit up to Jersey, deliver that, grab something else, bring it back to Cali or something like that, Arizona, wherever, and then I would get something else and run back. Like, man, when I was teaming, we were hustling and we were going back and forth across the US. Like it was no playing around. We weren't scared to go to anywhere. We didn't like going to Florida because it seemed like we usually got stuck there. Our luck was if we had a load going to Florida, we were probably going to deliver it and be there for 24 hours before we could get that that juice out of there or something else. So we really didn't like going there. But man, we would go from Carson, California to Maine. We would go from Maine back to California. I mean, California was the place that gave us the distance. We were running cent per mile, company team truck, cent per mile. Good miles equaled great checks. The potholes, yeah, man, you'll lose somebody. You'll lose a small animal in one of those potholes. A truck like us says, I'm a step deck driver. It's not good for me, but I understand for reefer guys, it's money. Yeah. I'm loyal to my money. Like, if California was where I gotta go to make money, I'm going there. If New York's where I gotta go to make money, I'm going there. PA's where I need to go. Like, wherever. Like, I'm running. So, and I understand step deck, like, wherever the money is for that, like, I'm sure you're there. On Beck says, I just got out of CDL school and don't know where to work. I'm talking to a over the road regional company right now. All right, Ian. Beck, check out anything. Check out all the companies you can. Like, make you a list. Make a list of all the pros and the cons and find out what's going to be best for you. Like, honestly, do a lot of research. Look, not too long ago, I was serious about looking at other companies. Like, I was looking around, just like seriously just checking out what was out there and doing a bunch of research and trying to find out what would be best if I needed it to. Did I need to make a move this year and go somewhere else? Or did I need to stay where I'm at? So I went out and I did a lot of research. I was on the phone with like people at different places, like, Walmart, FedEx, a lot of places. Like, I was doing research on everything out there, and I was weighing out my options, my pros and cons of each place. Like, where am I gonna make the most? Where am I gonna, like, I kind of got used to being home, sleeping in my own bed, using my YouTube room over here. Like, I was like, am I ready to give all that up and go back over the road? What's the options for local? Like, I looked into a lot of stuff. You gotta have like that plan in case something ever happens. So I did a lot of research, and look, I'm still here. But definitely take some advice from that. Like, do some research. If you can get out there and meet some of those drivers for that company you're looking at, like, if you're in the area, just go to the truck stop. Go to a truck stop and look for their trucks. Look for their trucks. Look how clean their trucks are, how dirty their trucks are, how old their trucks are. Look at the equipment. There's a lot of stuff that you forget to do whenever you're looking into other trucking companies and stuff like that. You got to remember, hey, I need to check out the trucks. I need to see how old the trucks are on their fleet. I need to look at the trailers. How long do they keep trailers? Are they replacing them ever so often? Are they, what's the conditions of them? Like, you got to look at stuff like that. You have to look at, hey, where do y'all get fuel at? Is it only fuel up at your terminal? Is it fill up anywhere? Do you only use certain fuel stops? Shops, do y'all use any shops? Do you have your own shop at your terminals? Stuff like that. Like, you got to really, really look into a lot of stuff when you're doing research on the trucking companies. There was a trucking company one of my students quit to go for, and he was all like, hey man, I'm going to this trucking company. And he was about to upgrade from TNT to his own truck. And if he would have stayed till the next day, then I would have made $500 for him upgrading to his own trucks. Like, I was going to get paid $500, but he called me the night before, actually the afternoon before, and we talked. And I was all like, He's like, I'm going to so and so, and I was already like, oh man, I hear bad stuff about their equipment. Like I didn't tell him, but I was thinking it in my head. I was like, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be the one that made that choice for them. I'm not gonna be responsible if I say, hey, they got bad equipment, stay here at Prime, and then he stays at Prime and he just has a horrible time here. I'm not gonna be responsible for that. I'm not gonna make a life decision for him like that. I just kept telling him. I kept telling him, do your research. Make sure you do all the research. He was all like, man, they'll take me right now. Right now. All I gotta do, I gotta leave tonight if I go. And I was all like, aren't you upgrading tomorrow? He's like, yeah. And I was all like, okay, you think they're gonna pay more and everything? He's like, yep. I was all like, okay, you did a lot of research. You checked out their equipment, everything. Like, you checked out where the terminals are, all that stuff. He's like, yeah, I did all that. So he took off to this other company, and I hit him up a while later, and he's like, man, my trailer's always breaking down. My truck's having problems. I can't always have to take these trailers to the shop. They always have to be repaired. I got a lot of downtime because of these trailers. And he was mad. He's all like, man, I can't make no money because of the equipment. And I was all like, I said, I could have told you that. And he was all like, well, why didn't you? I said, I'm not going to make a decision for you, bro. Like, I kept telling you, do your research. Do your research. Make sure you know what you're getting into. And unfortunately, you did not do enough research. I said, I talked to other drivers that drove there, stuff like that. And he told me he talked to another driver that drives there, and he had nothing but good to say. And I was like, okay, well, you did your research. And he was like, man, I should have just stayed there. I was like, hey, let me tell you something. I said, if you would have stayed till the next morning, dude, I would have got another like $500 because you would have upgraded. But I was like, I want you to make the best decision for you. I'm not going to be in the decision making for your life. And unfortunately, he made the wrong decision. So, you know, he ended up going somewhere else, and I like we did not really keep in too much in touch after that. He kind of felt a type of way that I could have stopped him, and I was all like, dude, like, I'm not. That's like whenever a student comes up to me and one of my students, and they're all like, hey, I'm gonna quit. Okay, go in there and turn your stuff in. Some students just say that because they want you to talk them out of it. For reals, I found that out a long time ago. Some students will say, hey, I quit, man, I quit, just because they want the reaction from you to talk them out of it. And if you talk them out of it, guess what? They're going to do it again and again and again. I quit, just because it's like a attention thing. So if one of my students say, man, I quit, I'll be like, all right, well, go ahead and go in there and let them know, like, see you. And they'll sit there for a while, and then they'll be like, all right, I'm ready to start working again. I'm all like, didn't you say you were quitting? Cool, whatever, let's get back to work then. Trucker Steve, CDL instructor. I always love going to New York City. See, we don't have to go in the city. We have a drop yard we drop at and let the local New York guys get it. Beck says, I'm 25 and have no plans or kids. Yeah, hey, you can be a little more reckless with your decision making than I can. When you're young, you can make some bad decisions and you're gonna be fine. Truck Like Us says, for the new CDL drivers, be careful companies that leave false statements on your DAC report. Yes. I've heard of a bunch of stuff like that happening. Like, people go to companies and, you know, man, I can't put this person out because y'all probably know who I'm talking about. But there's another person that does YouTube that was at one of those companies that puts a lot of false stuff on their drivers, and he was not happy. Like, he ended up leaving, but since he saw what happened to a lot of his friends, He had video evidence of him dropping the truck off exactly where they wanted it and everything, so they couldn't put nothing on his record. Most hated says ask questions a lot. Always ask questions. Beck says I'm torn between local and OTR. In most cases, OTR is going to be where the money is, and OTR is where you get the most experience. And OTR is where most of your experience comes from that companies are looking at. Like if you had a CDL, so if you had a CDL for like 25 years and you're all like, man, I want to do local, and you were over the road for 25 years and you went local for like 3-4 years and you decided, man, I'm going to go back to prime. Guess what? You're going to have to take the refresher course. You're going to be mad because somebody that's only been here 8 years like me is going to be teaching you how to drive the truck. So, hey, it is what it is. They don't, other companies, a lot of companies do not recognize local experience as any experience at all. Most hated says you'll be lucky if you get a local job with no experience. Yeah, and that's true too. And if you do get one with no experience, it's not going to pay good. It's not going to pay great, I should say. Go back to years OTR and then. Yeah, and like Jeff says, Jeff told you go 2 years OTR and you'll have your pick of jobs, and that's true. About 2 years, 3 years of experience. I'm telling you, whenever I hit 3 years of experience, it was a new me. I was all like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, man, you're more laid back. Like, man, the first year I was felt like I was on eggshells. I was like, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to get fired. Like I'm nervous. Like I was like, I am not getting in trouble, man. After I got that third year, I was all, actually for me it was the fifth year, because at the time Walmart was the one that's like, truckers heaven is Walmart, so everybody wanted to go drive for Walmart. And at the time, they required 5 years of driving experience. So I was watching my P's and Q's. I hit that 5 year mark. I'm all like, man, y'all can't even touch me. I'm going to go to Walmart if y'all want to play around. Like, y'all don't want none. I was like, man, oh, you want the trailer dropped in that yard over there that's tight as hell and messed up? And you want it in the tightest spot there? I'm just going to go drop it in that easy one. Like, I'm out. I'm dipping. Because man, I'm telling you, like this one place I went, the yard was jacked up. It was super tight, and there was a telephone pole inside the spot that they wanted me to put the trailer in. I was like, I ain't putting it there. I'll put it in another spot. I put it in a different spot. They had a yard dog there. He was all like, you need to go put that trailer in that spot. I was like, you need to go do it, bro. Like, I'm out. See ya. I already hooked up to my new trailer. See ya. Pegleg says, is regional better than all over the road? All over. Is regional better? I think you mean, is regional better than over the road? It just see, I kind of put regional into over the road, because like you're driving a whole region. That was pretty much OTR. I don't know how companies look at it. I don't know if other companies are all like, oh man, you were regional. I'm sure that they look at it like, hey, you got some over the road experience because you were regional. Like, and you want to know the truth? Like the local guys, in my opinion, a lot of the local guys, they kind of have it harder, because that's a lot of like city stuff and around town kind of lows, so I kind of think that should be harder, and you should have more experience for local. But a lot of OTR is a whole bunch of interstate, a whole bunch of highway, and then a little bit of cities and stuff. Beck says, how do you keep fitting being how do you keep fit being an over the road driver? I don't I don't. Like, you know, staying in shape, being fit, over the road driver, I kind of, man, listen, guys, like, I came here and I weighed about 210, 220 pounds, maybe somewhere in there. And, I just, like, I started gaining weight. I started gaining weight. It's because you're sitting there a lot. You're eating bad food from the truck stops, and most of the time, I didn't eat a lot of the bad stuff from the truck stop. I was cooking my own food and stuff like that. I I'm looking up a picture for y'all. Trying to find a picture of whenever I first started at Prime. This is a picture probably from my first 6 months. Let me keep scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. Come on, this phone is slow today. I don't know if this camera will focus on it, but like that was whenever I first came out trucking. That was, look out, my beard was not gray. Like that's what it was. Like I was not as big as I am now. Like look, my beard was barely growing in back then. Like I was not as big as I am now. So like I've gained a lot of weight, and it's bad eating. It's eating at all hours of the night. It's eating right before you go to bed, stuff like that. Because when we finally stop for the day, that's time to make your dinner, eat, and then go to bed. I mean, like all that stuff added up. Not getting out the truck and like walking around the truck stops and stuff like that. I was like, man, I'm gonna walk to the truck stop. I usually parked kind of far from the truck stop, and I would walk all the way there, use the bathroom, whatever, walk back. I wasn't one of the guys that like peeing in the parking lot all the time and all that nasty stuff. I was like, yeah, go inside, you know. So if you want to stay fit, watch what you eat, count your calories, do what you got to do. Like I got all here recently, I got all the way up to I was weighing 340 pounds, and I have brought it all the way down to 280. So I would like to lose another 70 to 80 pounds. Like I would love to, but I'm trying to bring it down, eating better, trying to get more healthy. I turned 40 and it was like fall apart over here. Same thing over and over. Probably gets boring. Walk around the loves. Rob says, any tips if I'm trying to get more home time, but still wanting to make money? Just miss the kids and the wives. And the wives. Whoa, more than one wife. No, it says wife. Um, and the only thing I can tell you is do the time that you need over the road, and then go back and try to find you something local that's going to pay enough. You're going to have to weigh out like how much you make versus like how much home time you need there. So the ultimate goal is do your over the road, get that out the way, and then go and be local. It's hard. FaceTime and stuff like that, these new apps, FaceTime, all that stuff, it makes it a lot easier. It does, but it's still not the same as being home every night. So, like my daughter, she started doing bad in school. She had to see like a counselor or a therapist or whatever. She's like, she started struggling, and like I felt like my son didn't know me. Like I would come home from home time, And like the first day, my son didn't know who I was because he was super young, toddler. He didn't know who I was, it felt like. And then once I would start getting him like, hey, let's play monster trucks, or like, he would start being more comfortable around me, I would leave because my home time was up. So it was like, it was hard. It was like, man, next time I'm coming home, I'm gonna be another stranger to my son. Like stuff like that is hard. That's that's like that's some of the problems as being a trucker is home life is pretty much non-existent. All you can do is make the best out of it. And I had to keep myself motivated, and what kept me motivated was I'm doing this for my family. Like I'm making sure that financially they're stable, and financially we're not losing nothing, and I'm going to be there as much as I can. You know, I went. One of the reasons I went company is because I go home as a company driver more than a lease driver goes home. So, as a company driver, I would go home for 4 days every month. Most of my friends that were lease, they would go home for like 7 days, but it was like every 2 to 3 months. So really, in 2 months, I'm going home for 8 days. It's more spread out, and really, you don't need that long on home time. Like people that take 7 days or 2 weeks off being leased and having to pay that truck payment, I don't think that that's very smart. Like I really don't. And, I'm not in your shoes, but I don't, because whenever I would go home for 4 days, I would first day I would kind of like get a bunch of my errands ran. Like if I needed to go pay bills, or if I needed to go buy something or take care of something, I would do that. Then if anything around the house needed to be fixed or taken care of, I did that. I got all my stuff taken care of the first day. The second day I relaxed, hung out with the family. Third day I was still doing stuff with the family, and then like by the end of that third day, I was all like, man, it's time to go make some more money. I got everything taken care of. So I end up like the fourth day I was off, I was like, I'm gonna enjoy it, but like I feel like I should be already back on the road and making money, like bringing money in. You have a classic Gandalf beard. Yeah. Oh man, my beard has got so freaking long too. Like it's crazy. It's like it didn't grow for a long time, and then all of a sudden it just went boom. Thank you, Peg Leg. Most hated said, I FaceTime my wife every day during PSD. Rob says, yeah, being leased, I'm out at least 2 to 3 months before I get home. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, like, lease guys, you have too much responsibility that you cannot be going home all the time. And I always hear everybody always tell my students and different people saying like all kinds of rumors about company guys never get to go home. That's not true. Company guys can't go home whenever they want. That's not true. I would stay out. I would only stay out a month at a time. I'd go home for 4 days every month. Every month. Most hated says that. Then come back in the negative 10K. Yeah, you're coming back and you're negative because you still got to pay the truck payment, fuel, everything. But I'm not really. I put all my expenses aside so I don't go into the negative. And so I talked to a lot of people about going negative. Like, is it better to go negative, or is it better to pay your truck payment when you're on home time? And for the most people I've talked to said it's better just go in the negative, because when you come out, it seems like they give you better loads to get you out of the negative. So like I've heard that so many times that I pray like I'm kind of believing it. But still, Rob, even if you don't go into the negative, think about it. Think about it. 2 to 3 months away from home, and then come home. Like that's where I'm all like, That's too long when you have kids. Like, that's kind of too long. Yo, Slime Pack. Slime Pack must have heard I was watching her videos today. I got behind on your videos, so I had to catch up. Like, I was, I was like 4 or 5 videos behind, so I did a lot of watching of your videos today and yesterday. Uh, I saw you at the light leaving the terminal last Wednesday. Oh man, too bad, too bad. We missed each other. It would have been cool to meet up though. Like, it would be cool to meet you sometime. Like, a lot of my students like watching your channel. Like, a lot of times I base off the channels that I watch off of what my students watch. So like, I I didn't know about your channel for the longest time, and whenever my students kept on saying, "Hey, I watch Slime Pack, I watch Slime Pack, or I watch Kiersey, or I watch, No Hippie." After I get a whole bunch of people saying that, that's whenever I start going and watching channels. Like, the newest one I'm watching is OTR Runner. I think I said it right, but I haven't ever seen it before, but I had so many students recommending it, so I started watching it. Yeah, you do post a lot. Like, I keep up though a lot, but I do watch. And what's crazy is there's not many people I watch on YouTube. So I will only talk about the channels that like I feel like are great channels. So you're one of them. Kiersey was one of them while she was here. No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. Love that channel. There's very few that I watch. Oh, you watch him also? Yeah, I'm starting to get into his channel, and he has some good information on there. Uh, Rob says, I was looking at going company, but of course, I heard all the negative things about it. I keep asking my fleet manager if there's a way to switch, but I ain't got the best fleet manager. You can go company whenever you want. All you gotta do is get a load to the terminal. Tell him, hey, I want a load to the terminal. Come in, and then if he's not putting you company, then talk to the reefer flatbed or tanker, the person over at the supervisor for the department. You can. It's a walk away lease, so I'm not like I don't want to influence you in doing that. Make sure you do some research, and that's going to be what's best for you. But there's a lot of myths about being company. I've been company the whole time I've been here. Yes, and says running OTR like him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's his gonna be doing. Like, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna watch a lot more of his stuff because, like I said, I just barely started watching him the other day. But he's doing an excellent job from what I can tell. You're not kidding. It's very expensive. I regret taking the path. I did, but from what I hear, I got to finish the lease. No, you don't have to finish the lease. It's a walk away lease. I mean, if you're close to finishing it, go ahead and finish it. You'll get your completion bonus. You'll get your money back that you paid into this big fund. You'll get it back if you finish it. Slimepack says, I try to support all the Prime channels. I don't. I'm just being real. Like, I'm being real. I don't support them all. Like, I watch very few. If say like my students are talking about this one channel and I go watch the videos and there's some bad information on there, like I just stop watching it. Like, straight up, I just completely quit watching it. There's one right now that's pretty popular, videos all the time. Like not all the time, but like the channel does do a lot of traffic and a lot of posts, and I watched a couple videos and I was like, that was clickbait, or that was talking about stuff you don't know what you're talking about, so you don't even got all the facts, but you want to be talking about it. And nah, I don't do that. But Slime Pack, I can tell that you've learned a lot. Like you've learned a lot, and you learned a lot really quick. So I'm watching more and more of your videos, and like I was telling my student today, actually, whenever we were listening to your video, I was like, man, she's learned so much in the short time that she's been here. Like she's learned so much, and she's just improving and improving as she goes. I see it. Jeffrey says, talk to Success Leasing about switching to company. There are some costs, but since you want company, it might be. Yeah, see, they're gonna charge you straight up. I ain't even. I They charged me for turning in my lap. I was mad too. They don't even tell you they're gonna charge you. They just take it out of your check. But first time I ever been charged for turning in a truck, they charge you. Man, I don't even want to go on a rant. I don't, but they charge you for all kinds of stuff. Appreciate that. Oh, you're welcome. Like straight up, you're doing great. Like keep it up. But yeah, man, turning in your truck. I turned in my truck, and I turned in a lot of trucks. Let's see, my manual. My second one didn't count because it got totaled. Not my fault. There's a video on my channel of me getting into a bad accident. Not my fault. But that truck didn't get turned in, and I didn't get charged nothing for that truck. That truck was messed up, but I didn't get charged a dime for it. Then I had dark green. Didn't get charged for those. The white truck I got charged for. And they will charge you for. Oh man, do I still got the email? I probably shouldn't even do that, but let's. And I don't know if I have the email anymore, because I was mad whenever I saw it. I was like, a $300 charge for what? Like my mattress was still wrapped in the. I never unwrapped my mattress because I was like, too many people sat on my mattress. Like students sat on my mattress back there. I'm not even unwrapping it unless I have to sleep on it. Man, I don't think I have it. At primeinc.com. Test, 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 test. Let's see. No. No, I don't have it no more. I should have saved it to my phone, but I didn't. Oh, let me check my other email. I might have it in my other email. But they charge me for 7.5 hours. Let me search this one. At inc.com. So they charge me 7.5 hours for cleaning, and it was not bad. Is this it? Yeah, I found it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I found it. So they charged me for a mattress, which which they refunded back. Like they charged me $111.31 for a mattress, but they refunded me $111.31. They charged me for 7 hours and 50 minutes of labor, and that was $375 for labor. Then they charge me for a company detail. That's another $100. So I was at $275, and then you come down here and there's fees and shop supplies. So fees and shop supplies were $30, which brought me up to $305. And then so yeah, so I ended up getting charged $305. $305 for turning in my truck. $305 that I had to ask. My dispatcher wasn't in when I asked for this, but I was like, hey, what did I get charged this money for? Like, what did I get charged for? Because I was making sure I didn't get charged for the damage that was already on the truck. And he was all like, oh, it's a detail charge. And I said, okay. I said, why did nobody tell me that they were charging me anything? So, like, why was I not notified that, hey, you were being charged for this? And he was all like, get with your fleet manager on Monday whenever he comes in. And I was like, no, nah. I said, I think it's only fair if I get a copy of the receipt. I said, email it to me because I want a copy of what I got charged for. Like, send it to me. So he sent me the email finally. He was like, yeah, you're right. He sent me the email. And then he started trying to explain to me, like, you got charged for a mattress, but they refunded it. And like, I was like, hey, just send me the receipt. I'm going to look at it myself. And I didn't dispute it or nothing. I was like, you know what? Oh, well, first time I got charged for one. It's cool. Whatever. I know how it is, man. Like, my truck needed to be detailed. It wasn't no 7 hours and 7.5 hours worth of cleaning. I don't feel like it was. I could be wrong. Mega companies are shady. You must cover your ass. 100%. No matter where you're at or what you're doing, make sure you're covered. Like, no policies, procedures, no everything. As much as you can. That's wild. Yeah. It was wild. I was not expecting that to come out my check. Hey, I know with my very last truck I turned into Prime, I'm going to have to just wait till I'm going to have to turn it in like a couple days after payday. So like if I put in my 2 weeks notice, then I will turn my truck in on the Monday of the next week, and I'll make sure I won't run no loads that week. That way you ain't taking my check again. I'm just kidding. No, I'm serious. My fleet manager keeps asking me, would like to do PSD. I can't see myself training anyone. Slime Pack PSD is difficult, I will say. Like, there's a lot of people that come in and they're all like, yeah, I'm going to do PSD. I want to just do what you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of work. So it is hard. You lose space. So you'll lose space in your truck. You know, it's hard. It's hard. It's not as easy as you think it's going to be. You will learn a lot more teaching somebody something, because as you're learning stuff, you're teaching them what you're learning, and you have to be able to put into words what you see and what you do. So, you know, I think you would be good at it. I'm not saying you wouldn't. I just want you to know it's work. It's stressful, and like dealing with some people's attitudes sometimes, you're just like, whew. You know, like some people have some attitudes, and I'm pretty well, like, see, I work corrections for 13 years, so I can kind of deal with a lot of BS. But if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Let them keep asking. If you want to do it and you really feel like you want to do it, then do it. That's what, sometimes I kind of disagree with fleet managers asking their drivers, "Hey, would you do TNT training or would you become a PSD trainer?" Because I believe like if somebody really wanted to do that, then they would hit you up and say, "Hey, this is what I want to do." Whenever I started this, I hit my fleet manager up. I say, "Hey, I want to do this." My fleet manager's like, "Okay, we'll get you in the class." So, I do. Some people might need that little push or that little bit of like your fleet manager being like, "Hey, I believe in you. You can do this. Like, you would be good at it." So, some people need a little push, but I think most people, if they want to do it, they're going to tell their fleet manager, "Hey, I want to do this." Dubstep Kid says, "I just started with Prime. I'm in my TNT phase about 2 weeks in. Let's go, man. Congratulations. 2 weeks. Hopefully you got 10,000 miles already. Let's, get those miles, get it finished. Trucking like us, I take pictures of everything and I send emails and never put in a 2 weeks notice. That company will have time to screw you over. And the older I get, and the more I think about it, I watched I don't know whose video it was, but I watched a video one time and the guy made an excellent point. He said, "Why put in your 2 weeks notice? Why do that? Why tell them you're going to give them an advance when you quit? Because when they fire you, they're not going to give you a 2 weeks notice. Hey, we're firing you. You got 2 weeks and then we're going to fire you." No, it's right on the spot. You're fired. I was like, man, that makes sense. It's only fair. Plus, if I'm leaving a place, knowing me, if I leave a place, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. Ask all my exes. I don't play that like, "Oh, we're breaking up. I'll take you back next week. We're gonna break up. I'm gonna take you back next week." With me, it's like one and done. Like if we dated for a while and it worked and we were still together to this day. If if you wanted to break up for some petty stuff, I was like, "See ya. On to the greener grass." Uh, how long do you stay out on the road before home time? Most people go home when they can afford it. Some people like to go home once a month. Some people like to go home every 3 months. Whenever you can afford it. Me personally, I don't even have to take no home time anymore. I don't tell nobody I'm taking home time. I just come home. Slimepack says, "I told him I'm solo and I'm paying it forward by posting my videos." 100%. 100%. You don't have to pay it forward. You don't have to pay it forward. And it's you inspire a lot of people. You inspire a lot of people and you're doing a great job at showing people the over the road life. So like just keep doing what you're doing. You're 100% right there. Your videos are giving people the real view of things. I would like to see you make a video. Like I would like to see you talk about in one of your videos talk about like the struggles for a female truck driver, because that's one of the things I'm trying to work out something right now with a special person at Prime to come on my channel in a couple weeks and talk about female trucking. So like I would like to know like some of the troubles you get into, like you know just more of the life of a female driver, like what a female driver goes through. Like are there extra steps you take to be safe, whatever insight you can get, because I feel like a lot of females, they think about coming to, like they would be more likely to come to trucking, but they're kind of fear, like they have that fear of coming out here. So like I watch a bunch of stuff off of TikTok and stuff, like people locking their doors with their seat belts and people taking the bungee cord and hooking it to the air horn. Like I've never had to do that stuff. I never had to do that stuff. I just didn't. I lock my doors, I go to bed, and if I heard my window break or whatever, like I sleep with my knife in my pocket. And, if you come into my truck, it is what it is. So, I don't, I never had a problem. I never had no one break out my truck window. I never had anyone break in. I've never had anyone try to approach me at a truck stop, except for people that wanted to take pictures of my truck or take a picture with me. Like, hey, I watch your channel, stuff like that. Dubstep says I'm aiming to go company driver just because I don't have to pay for anything, and I also don't have any bills, so money seems okay. But my TNT trainer is kind of hell bent on talking me into being an owner operator. I doubt your trainer is even an owner operator, because if you're just doing a lease, you're not a if you're doing just a prime lease, I don't consider that an owner operator, because at the end of it, you're not going to keep the truck. Like, if you at the end of the lease, the prime lease, at the end of it, you have an option to buy the truck. But who can just bust out with that much money and just pay it off? I mean there are people that can do that, but the normal person ain't going to bust out enough money to pay for that truck in full. Most people are just going to start a new lease. To me, that's not owner op. You didn't own nothing. I mean, you're closer to an owner op than I am, because I'm just a company driver. It's do what's best for you. Don't let anyone talk you into doing something else. I always tell y'all, do research. Do a lot of research, figure out what's best for you and your life. So, even if he wants you to do it really bad, do what's best for you. Truck truck like us, I could never train at Prime, especially when they force the trainer to pay the trainee. Yeah, I agree with that too. Like, yeah, and truthfully, the TNT trainers did that to themselves, because there were some things going on where students were getting paid and they shouldn't have been getting paid and stuff, and cost Prime a lot of money. So, you know what? Prime's thing was all like, well, we got to restructure it anyways, because we're getting sued, so we have to make sure that it's completely fair on the student pay. So when they did that, they say, you know what? You're responsible for everything. Y'all messed up and y'all made us lose a lot of money. Y'all pay for everything. We won't have it happen again. Prime is really good at being reactive like that. Jeffrey says, I'm flatbed lease. I'm out for 5 months. Then I took 10 days off. Yeah, Jeff don't play. Jeff's about making money. He's a runner. He's gonna run, and then go home. Slimepack says, I'll keep that in mind when I'm recording. Yeah, you should. You should. Like, you're one of the big inspirations for females over the road, or thinking about coming over the road. You're a big inspiration to them. You, D Silva, Kiersey was, like, y'all are all big inspiration for women coming over the road. Y'all are all like doing it. Pegleg says, I used to keep bear spray in my truck. See, I never did that. I never kept nothing in my truck, because the thing is, if somebody's gonna attack you, if somebody's gonna make you try anything, you can't be like, hey, time out, let me unlock my truck and get the bear spray out. So, like, I keep a hammer in my door. I keep a hammer in my door because I need to knock pins in or whatever. Sometimes, like, broken trailers, I just, like, you use hammers all the time in trucking. I'm telling you. You see something wrong, you usually just beat it for a while with a hammer, and it usually fixes it on trucking. My oil's low. Just go, if your oil's low, just go hit it with a hammer a couple times, and it'll fix it. Like, so, like, I got a hammer in my side door, but I never had one. I never had anyone walk up and try anything. But number two, I couldn't just say, hey, time out, let me unlock my door, man. I got something for you, buddy. I got something for you. You know, and most of the time, to tell you the truth, most of the time, people that are getting mugged or taken advantage of and stuff like that are the people that have, like, they're flashing their money. We all seen it at a truck stop. A truck driver goes in there and buys a soda. It costs like, I don't know how much a soda is nowadays. What, $2 and something? So they pull out this wad of cash, and I never pulled out a wad of cash in my life in a truck stop. Like, if anything, if I had money on me, it was in one pocket, my wallet's in another pocket, and then I would have enough to buy whatever I was buying in the store in my other pocket. I never ever kept it all together. So I go in the store, I pull out a 20, I get my change. That's all the change I have. Like, you want to rob somebody for like 10 $13, whatever? Yeah. Hey, you can have it. That's all the money I got, bro. Oh, you want my wallet? Here, look, it's empty. Here's the cards. Can I at least keep my driver's license? I don't want to have to replace it. You know, I'm not gonna, they're gonna be quick. So I think, like, I wasn't the best person growing up. I wasn't the best person in my whole life. Like, I learned a lot from how I used to be, but I watch people. I watch people, I read people. Whenever I see somebody with a lot of money up there at the register, I still have my old thoughts some days. I'm all like, man, back in the day, I would have got paid off of this guy. Like, I would have got all that money. And then it's because you're flashing it. Man, I'm a trucker. I got money. It's about to be my money, dude. Straight up, it's about to be my money. That was back in the days, though. I'm a changed person. I'm a lot better. But if I'm thinking like that, just imagine the real guy out there that's like, man, I need some money. I'm down on my luck, or, whatever. I got to feed my family. You're flashing that cash around. You're wearing all the gold and stuff like that. Like, I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff. I'm not wearing all this nice jewelry to a truck stop. I don't even wear my nice shoes out to the truck stops. I got my beaters on. I do eco shred runs, especially those. Those are some of those places are real dirty, real dirty. Pieces of tire particle in the air and stuff. You're gonna get dirty, but, like, I ain't trying to wear my really nice shoes out there in the truck stop. Ain't none of that. Uh, Pegleg says, you've been in a little bit of trouble when you were young. Explains your previous job. I never ever got caught for anything I did. I always followed my gut instinct. If my gut told me, hey, it's time to go home, I went home. And it was bad. Like, some of my friends got busted and stuff, and, like, it was like right after I was like, I'm just gonna go home. Something's telling me to go home. So, like, I'm big on following my gut. If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. It's not right. I'm gone. Yeah, and that also helped me read people too. 13 years in correction, like, I'm pretty quick at reading people. I think my street life, plus that, plus now training PSD students, all of that added together, like, I'm real quick to read somebody. I can, like, my students, a lot of my students, they know, like, whenever I'm all like, I'll tell them this phrase. I'll be like, I believe it because you said it. That means that right there is like what they say in prison. And it's because they can't Google it on their phone to see if you're telling the truth or not. So they're all like, I believe it because you said it, but really they don't believe it. So, like, some of my students, they start in on these wild stories and stuff like this and different stuff like that. I'm like, and I can tell, like, man, this dude came from a nice neighborhood. This dude, I don't believe none of this. I'll be like, I believe it because you said it. We'll just leave it as that. Oh, you don't believe me. I'm like, that. I said I believe it because you said it. That's what I said. You know, it's just how it is. Well, guys, I'm out of here tonight. Thank you all for stopping by to Thursday night talks. Let's go. CDL training, all that good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm dropping a video Friday. It's already out for members. If you're a member, go ahead and watch it. It was yesterday's load, so it was cool. My student Scott, he did a great job. He was the star of the show. Like, he did the driving, he did the backing, he did it all. So for turning around inside the shipper, I always do that because I'm not going to have somebody hit the side of the trailer with my truck. I do not want to miss and fare. And from the passenger seat, you can't see how close somebody gets that truck to the side of the trailer. But I'm out. Good night. Y'all be safe out there over the road.